All right. Could everyone please stand up? We'll try to recite our verse about the dragon. Please, could we all please get out of our seats and stand? Could we also quiet down a little? All right, we're almost quiet, so I guess we'll go ahead. Now, could we all try to clap our hands? Prescott, why aren't you standing? Why aren't you doing what I asked? What do you mean you don't have to stand up? Please, Prescott, try to do as I've asked. Second graders, could you all please be quiet while I talk to Prescott? Now, let's begin, shall we? Sativa, why are you sitting down? You're terribly fatigued? But it's the beginning of the day. Couldn't you just try standing up along with the others? Do you think you have chronic fatigue syndrome? Now, Sativa, I never heard of anyone your age suffering from such an... Clay? How do you know I'm wrong? Second graders, please be quiet while Clay and Sativa and I are talking. Now listen, Clay. Just because you saw that in PBS doesn't make it absolutely true. Has anyone else here ever heard of a second grader with CFS? Ezekiel, will you please leave the room? Yes, I mean it. I won't have you pulling Natasha's hair while second graders, please be quiet. All right. Could everyone please sit down? We'll say the verse from our desks. Yes, that's it. Could you all return to your seats? Good. Now for our verse. Prescott, why are you still standing? This passage is from a Eugene Schwartz lecture titled Weaving the Social Fabric of the Class, in which Schwartz discusses, among other things, authority and choice in relationship to the astral body. In this passage, the mark of punctuation that appears far more often than any other is the question mark. Students, will you do this? Students, why are you doing that? What kind of an effect does this have? The teacher sounds like someone with no authority, no direction, no stability, no belief in what he is doing. Between the ages of 7 and 14, the teacher is an authority, someone who exercises authority. During this developmental stretch, this etheric stretch, when the teacher lacks authority, the students become untethered and misbehavior abounds. In relationship to the teacher's authority, the students should be like disciples. Indeed, discipline comes from the word disciple. The disciple is one who follows devotedly the decisions made by the teacher. So, why is this important? Allow me to quote Schwartz again. When we ask a child to make a choice, several things occur. First of all, we ask the child to draw upon capacities for judgment that he does not yet have. On what basis will a 7-year-old make a choice? Invariably on the basis of sympathy and antipathy. And whence does he get this sympathy and antipathy? From his astral body. That is, from a member of his being that should not be activated until adolescence. The youngster who is always choosing one thing and rejecting another is drawing on soul capital that should be kept in the spiritual bank to gather interest for several more years. When such a child needs these astral forces in their fullness at age 14 or 15, they may be depleted. Each time you lack authority, each time you have the student make a choice, each time you put the student's educations in their own hands, you are complicit in having the students draw from their astral forces, forces which should not stream into the students until adolescence. As a side note, the extreme of having nearly no choices ends sometime around grade 4, after the child has gone through the 9-year change, when choices are slowly and conscientiously introduced. Again, Short says that between 7 and 14, the child craves authority for the sake of his soul development and needs authority so that he may have an outer form in which to incarnate. Children do not need choices, they need guidance. What then do we as teachers offer instead of choice? Rhythm. The fostering of healthy rhythms is another means by which we protect the child from having to choose. The teacher must choose to spare the student the burden of choice. We light the candle, or at least we used to. We say our verse, we play our recorders, we sing, we do math. At math time, at lunchtime we eat. We move in practiced ways. We use learned speech patterns. We say farewell at the day's end. I'll leave you with one last passage from this Schwartz lecture. Schwartz is describing a potential scenario in which a parent is robbing his or her child of astral forces in the morning, when things should be most etheric. Time to wake up! Do you want to wear your Jordache shorts or your Guess jeans? Would you like your Chanel sweater or the polo shirt? Ready for breakfast? What will it be? Cheerios, cornflakes, Wheaties, granola? How about strawberries? No? Blueberries? Bananas? Do you want to sweeten it with honey? You want sugar? White or brown?